The Philippines was my first world, a place of sun, a place of endless green. Family laughter filled our small house. Life felt vibrant, always moving, always warm. Then, everything changed. We moved to Canada, a new country, a cold country. The snow was beautiful, but strange. It covered everything in a silent white blanket. I missed the constant hum of life from back home. I missed the familiar heat on my skin. A part of me felt left behind, tethered to those islands across the vast dark ocean. Our old family house in the Philippines stood on a quiet street. It was made of wood and stories. My grandmother often spoke of things unseen. She said spirits lived within its walls, benign mostly, just watching. As children we whispered about them. We dared each other to go into the darkest rooms alone. The stories were thrilling then. A game, a shiver of delightful fear. But they were just stories, or so I believed when I was young and still surrounded by the familiar comfort of that place. Growing up in Canada, those tales faded, like old photographs left in the sun. I embraced logic. I embraced science. The world became a place of explanations. Ghosts and spirits belonged to a past I had outgrown. They were relics of a childhood imagination. The bustling city life in Canada, the concrete and glass, felt solid, real. The whispers of the old house were just echoes, faint and distant, almost forgotten in the noise of my new modern life. It seemed so far away, that old world. Yet, a pull remained, a quiet yearning, a need to return. After many years, the call became too strong to ignore. Perhaps it was nostalgia. Perhaps it was a desire to reconnect with my roots. Or maybe, deep down a part of me wanted to see if those childhood fears held any truth. If the house still remembered. If it still whispered. I told myself it was just a visit, a trip to see family. But a small, quiet part of me knew it was more than that. It was a return to something I thought I had left behind. The journey back was long. The plane cut through clouds, bridging two worlds. Stepping onto Philippine soil again was like walking into a warm embrace. The humid air wrapped around me, thick with familiar scents. Jasmine, diesel fumes, cooking food. It was overwhelming, a flood of memories, sharp and sweet. The city hummed with a chaotic energy I had forgotten. So much had changed on the surface, but the heart of it, the feeling, remained stubbornly, beautifully the same. It felt like coming home. Meeting my childhood friends was emotional. Years had passed, we had all grown, changed, yet the bonds were still there, strong, unbroken. Laughter came easily, tears too. We talked for hours, sharing stories of our separate lives, recounting old adventures. It was as if no time had passed at all. The years simply melted away in the warmth of our reunion. We were children again for a little while, sharing secrets and dreams under the familiar tropical sky. It felt good, so good. Someone suggested we gather at my old family house, the house I grew up in, the one with the stories. A thrill went through me, mixed with a strange apprehension. It had been empty for a while. My relatives kept an eye on it, but no one lived there permanently anymore. The idea felt like a dare, a challenge to the past, a way to confront those lingering childhood whispers. We all agreed it would be an adventure, a night to remember, or perhaps a night to forget. My friend Maria arrived a little later than the others. She carried her baby son, a small, precious bundle in her arms. Her smile was as warm as I remembered, but her eyes seemed to hold a new depth, a tiredness, perhaps the natural weariness of a new mother, or perhaps something else, a faint shadow that flickered and then was gone. She settled in, her baby cooing softly. The presence of the child made the old house feel a little less daunting, a little more grounded in the present. As evening deepened, the mood in the house began to shift. The tropical night fell like a curtain, swift and complete. Outside, the chorus of cicadas and frogs grew louder. Their calls filled the darkness. Inside, however, a strange stillness settled. The air grew heavy, almost thick. Our earlier laughter felt distant, replaced by quieter conversations. We were all aware of the house around us, its age, its silence, its many unseen corners. It watched us. Maria's baby started to fuss. He was hungry. She said she needed to warm his bottle. The kitchen was at the back of the house, down a short, dim hallway. It was an old kitchen, simple, functional, but it always felt a little isolated from the rest of the rooms. She excused herself, her baby nestled against her shoulder. We heard her footsteps recede, the clink of a bottle, the soft murmur of her voice soothing her child. Then, silence from that end of the house. We continued talking in the main room, but our conversation was strained, her absence stretched. How long did it take to warm a small bottle of milk? 5 minutes? 10? Each passing moment felt longer than the last. A subtle tension began to creep into the room. I glanced towards the hallway. It was dark, empty. A prickle of unease crawled up my spine, a feeling that something was not quite right. She had been gone for too long. Surely she should be back by now. Suddenly a choked gasp echoed from the hallway, then hurried, stumbling footsteps. Maria appeared in the doorway. Her face was a mask of terror, pale, ashen. Her eyes were wide, staring, unseeing. She clung to her baby so tightly her knuckles were white. The baby, sensing her fear, began to wail, a high, piercing cry that cut through the stillness of the house. Maria just stood there, shaking, unable to speak, frozen by whatever she had seen, or thought she had seen. "Maria, what is it? What happened?" My voice was barely a whisper. The words felt loud in the sudden silence that followed the baby's cry. She just shook her head, her eyes still fixed on something far away. Her breath came in short, sharp bursts. We gathered around her, concerned, afraid of what she might say. The festive mood of our reunion had vanished completely, replaced by a chilling dread. The old house felt colder now, more menacing. Finally, she found her voice. It was hoarse, trembling. In the kitchen, she managed to say, her words broken. There was a woman by the stove. She struggled to describe it. An old woman, faint, like smoke. She was just standing there, Maria whispered, her gaze darting around the room as if expecting the figure to reappear, looking at me. Her eyes, they were so sad. She said the figure was translucent, almost not there, but undeniably present, watching her, watching the baby. A cold wave washed over me. The childhood stories, my grandmother's warnings, the playful fears, they weren't just stories anymore. They rushed back with a terrifying clarity. The air in the room felt thick, suffocating. My skepticism, so carefully constructed over the years, crumbled. It shattered into a million pieces, lying there on the dusty floor of my family's haunted house. I looked at Maria's face. Her fear was raw, undeniable. It was the most real thing in the room. I never saw the apparition myself. Not that night, not ever, but I saw Maria. I felt the terror radiating from her. It was a fear so profound it seeped into my own bones. That single, chilling account changed everything for me. The world no longer felt so solid, so predictable. The veil between what is seen and unseen had thinned. The Philippines, my vibrant, sun-drenched homeland, now held a deeper, darker mystery, a layer of the unknown that I could no longer dismiss. I left that house with a new understanding, and a fear that lingers still.